Mr. Snyder, you indicate that on September 11th you were pulled over because a police officer falsely claimed that you were driving with a suspended license.
My suspension was lifted on the 9th, 2 days before that.
Oh, so there was no record of the suspension having been lifted?
Well, Mr. Clay called up the officer and told him it was stolen. The officer was in the neighborhood, saw me with the truck, pulled me over, walked right up to the truck, goes, "Mr. Snyder, isn't this truck stolen?" And I said, "No, it's not stolen." And I showed him the lien papers. And he goes, "Well, you're suspended. You know that, right?" And I said, "I'm not suspended."
When had your license been suspended? For what period of time?
It was 3 months before the 9th of September. So
it was suspended during the time that you were driving around in the plaintiff's truck?
Correct.
Plus, you didn't have a car of your own during this period of time. You didn't have a truck of your own. As a matter of fact, you were arrested at 3 o'clock in the morning, detained for a moment, and the car was taken away from you.
Yeah, they towed the car, but I was just cited.
You were given a ticket.
Yeah.
The point that I'm making is you weren't using the truck for business at that time.
Okay, thank you all. We're going to excuse you while we deliberate in this matter. Thank you.
This courtroom is now in recess.
I think we can all agree that there was an arrangement for the defendant to use the truck. The defendant interpreted that agreement as it was going to be his truck ultimately and that he was going to own it. But there's nothing in the record or any of the emails that substantiates that version. The defendant shows no evidence of giving the plaintiff any money, no record keeping with respect to it. The mechanic's lien also poses a problem, I think, for the defendant because it seems it was kind of a way to protect himself in the event that someone questioned his possession of the vehicle. I don't believe the plaintiff is entitled to any potential loss by the defendant using the truck or potential business. I don't think he should recover on that basis. I simply would give him the impound fees.
I'm totally in agreement with you. No matter how we look at this, I don't see any agreement that indicates that he would be entitled to money for use of the vehicle. I do think he would be entitled to the impound fees and the title replacement fee. If
$55?
Yeah. So 1180.
Yeah, I would join that. There were some parts of the defendant's story that just didn't hold up for me. And I don't know if the two of you noticed this, but when his witness was testifying as to how much money
I did notice
she gave the
it.
plaintiff,
He said thousands.
she said $200. And he said, "Oh, wasn't it $2,000?" She said, "No, it was $200."
I did notice that.
I found her credible. I didn't find the defendant terribly credible. And the plaintiff is credible as to the points that I think are material. Right. And I completely agree. There's no usage here, but he shouldn't have had to pay to get his car out of impound.
Yeah, we're all on agreement then with 1,180, right?
Yep.
Okay.
We've reached a verdict. It's unanimous. We feel that the evidence supports your version of this agreement, that the defendant was simply to use the vehicle so that he could improve his landscaping business and that this was an investment on your part. Mr. Snyder, you were at a difficult point. The plaintiff helped you. You don't deny that.
Nope.
But there is absolutely no evidence that this deal was a promise on his part to sell you this vehicle. And therefore, when you were stopped by the police, you didn't have authority to be in possession of that vehicle. And so therefore, we think that you were entitled to a return of your impound fees for the vehicle. With respect to the projected earnings that you want to hold the defendant accountable for, we cannot agree with that. So our verdict is in your favor for the cost of the impound of $1,125 and the $55 that you had to pay to replace the title. Verdict is in favor of the plaintiff for $1,180.